Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Happy Thursday. Oh my gosh. I am getting started vlogging. Is it going out of focus? I'm getting started vlogging later than I wanted to. I wanted to be started by 6 o'clock so that I could vlog for an hour and that by like 7:15, 7:30, I could be on my walk. But I wasn't even sure if I was gonna walk tonight, and I'll explain to you why in a second. I'm not feeling great today. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but I started feeling sick last night. Figured out it's my allergies. Figured it out by my own deductions and also several other people that are having the exact same symptoms as me, some of my friends. But it's allergies. But I'm wondering if maybe I shouldn't walk outside because the air quality in Indianapolis is not great today combined with the allergies. I'm like, am I just gonna make myself feel worse than I already do? I feel better now than when I woke up, and I definitely feel better now than I did last night. But I really wanted to walk today because I didn't walk last night. So I don't know. We'll have to see how I feel after we, after you and I, after we dance. Shall we dance? Shall we dance? How's that song go? Do you wanna dance all through the night? How are the lyrics to that Bette Midler song? Do you guys remember that Bette Midler song? Do you wanna dance all through the night? Oh, tell me, tell me. Do you wanna dance? I love that song. I forgot all about that song. Do you wanna dance? Bette Midler. Lyrics. Do you wanna dance and hold my hand? Tell me you're my lover man. Oh, baby. Do you wanna dance? How's the end of it go? I feel like I'm singing the end part. Do you wanna dance? Do you? This is a weird start to a vlog, isn't it? This is a real weird start to a vlog. What was that album? I loved that album. Okay, do you guys want to hear a story about this album? I've actually told this story on here before. The album was The Divine Miss B, which came out in 1972, which was one of her most famous albums. Okay, I know that I sound like the old gay right now talking about Bette Midler. I do though, I'm talking like the old gay. Can we talk about Judy Garland and Bette Midler? Okay, I'm not a huge Bette Midler fan, okay? Not that I think there's anything wrong with it, although I will tell you this. I heard that she's kind of not a very nice person. So, my dad has a friend here that's an anesthesiologist. This was like, God, this was probably, I don't know, longer than 20 years ago. But anyway, my dad has a friend here in town who's an anesthesiologist. And it was like his wife's like 50th birthday. God, how old? It would be 30 years ago now because they're like my dad's age. So it was like her 50th birthday. And he had this like blowout birthday party for his wife and stuff like that. Well, they hired Bette. I don't know how it all happened. But they hired Bette Midler to come there and sing. Like one song, to sing like Happy Birthday in one song. And so like I can't remember how it all went down. Like they knew somebody in the industry that knew like Bette Midler. And so like she'll do like, I guess a lot of these singers do little private things like that or whatever. But she came and she was like, I remember my dad saying, because they were at the party, and I remember my dad saying like, everybody was talking about how she was such a diva, and she was like, I'll do one song and I will do just one song and all this kind of stuff. And I remember my dad said that to me and I was like, okay, it's Bette Midler. Let's pull it back a little bit, okay? It's not like you went to the local bar and you just picked up, it's Bette Midler, okay? Like, I think if anybody's earned the right a little bit, I can remember my dad talking about humility, and I was like, it's Bette Midler. But I don't know how much you would pay Bette Midler to have to be at your birthday party, but I have a feeling quite a bit. But anyway, so, but here's a little funny story about Bette Midler, which I think I shared it not too long ago, actually. So, would that have been the New Year's before I got sober? It might have been the New Year's before I got sober. So this would have been going into 1994 because my sobriety birthday is December 17th of 1994. So this would have been 93 going into 94. Gina, my friend that I always talk about, that I went to elementary, junior high, high school, college, and graduate school. Okay, so she and I, and this other gal that we were friends with that ended up being my roommate for a while. She was my roommate before I got sober. Not my roommate that lives in. I had a lot of people, I don't know that I would call her a roommate. She wasn't paying rent. I was doing her a favor. She just was sleeping on my couch. But anyway, she was a dear friend of mine. She was the one that left. Not my friend that lives in Berlin. This was a different friend. This was in between. And she was the one that said to me that she was going to call my dad if I didn't fix myself, and then 2 weeks later I was in treatment, because she was like, I can't continue to sit here and watch you kill yourself. She was like, this is just like, I can't continue to watch this. And so, and like, I was so pissed at her. I mean, I kind of didn't care, but I mean, I just was like, F you. It's kind of how I was at the time. But I was pissed. Like, I just was like, she is no friend of mine that would, you know, do that to me. Years later, we had a conversation. She's like today, like one of my dearest friends. She actually just sent me something the other day that was so funny. And she was really good friends with my friend that passed away. Now, we were all part of the same group. So anyway, years later, I reached out to her and I was like, I owed her, it was like when I did my amends for the first time. And I was like, I owe you a huge amends. Like, you're the only person that was willing to stand by me and say that you were worried about me at that time and stuff. I mean, I think everybody was, but I don't think they didn't have the language. I mean, they were all, you know, in their 20s and they didn't know, like, how do you say to your friend, like, you're worried that they're going to live or die kind of thing, right? So anyway, but anyway, the three of us went up to Chicago for the weekend. How did it go? No, she didn't stay with us because her friend, oh, this is the part of the story I forgot. So her friend, she's originally, I shouldn't tell the cities that she's from, but anyway, so she's from a different city, and her friend, she's a real good looking friend, and he was living in Chicago at the time, and another friend of ours here that now lives in Los Angeles, she was trying to hook them up because like he would come to town every once in a while and they would kind of like hook up. They had kind of like this romantic thing. I don't know why this was like the romantic New Year's or whatever. It's so funny because now she's like married. Her son just turned like 22 or something like that. It's so weird to think back in those days, you know? But this was like the New Year's like of the hookup kind of thing, right? So anyway, I feel like she stayed, oh, I know what it was. Okay, so she stayed with us in our hotel room, because we had like 2 queen beds. She stayed with us, and then, but she went up there to see her friend, but then the guy that she brought, that was our friend from Indianapolis, he stayed with the guy because they were like, it was like a 1-bedroom apartment. So I don't think she had anywhere to stay. So anyway, that's why she ended up staying at the hotel with us. Okay. But she knew all these people in Chicago through her friend. So we were like, I think we got up there like the 29th or something like that. We were there through like New Year's. So anyway, God, that was some New Year's. But anyway, I remember going to like Boys Town and walking all over Boys Town, Chicago, which is like the whole gay area of Chicago. I don't know what it's like now. I haven't been up there in years. But back then, they had like market days, which is also like a gay thing. But back then it was like, they had like, I would say like 10 or 15 gay bars all in that area, and gay stores and restaurants and stuff like that. And her friend lived right in that area. So we were spending a lot of time over there. And so I remember we went to, I even looked it up when I told this story the last time. What's the bar called? Roscoe's. We went to Roscoe's, and right next to Roscoe's, I don't know if it still exists. I think it was Roscoe's that we went to. It's on the corner on Halstead. We went to, what's the bar across the street that has all the TV screens? Sidetracks in Chicago. So Sidetracks was across the street, so Roscoe's is on the corner. It's where they do all the like the RuPaul's Drag Race showings now and stuff. So we went to this little restaurant right next door. It was like a sandwich shop, or I don't know, it was like a little diner deli kind of thing. But it was connected to Roscoe's, I remember somehow. Like you could walk through a door and go into the bar. I don't know why I remember that. But anyway, this guy that worked in there, I remember his name and everything. His name was David. I mean, it's been 30 years, who cares? If he's still out there, David, I would love to know what happened to you. So anyway, I remember he looked like I'll tell you who he looked like. I have pictures in my basement, actually, of him from that weekend. REM band members. He did not look like Michael Stipe. He looked like the guy with the eyebrows. I can't think of his name. Why can't I think of the guy's names? There he is. What is he? Why can't I think of his name? Oh, Bill Berry. He looks like Bill Berry. He looked like Bill Berry from, is that his name? Yeah, he looked like Bill Berry from REM. Totally. The whole weekend I was like, you look just like that guy from REM, because I loved REM, you know. It's the end of the world as we know it. So anyway, so what's going on here? What's going on? Where am I at? So anyway, I got such a crush on this guy this weekend. I had like such a crush. And I can remember like all during the day, he had to work at night somewhere, because I can remember we didn't do a lot with him at night except for like one night. But like every night or every day, like we would like hang out together. It was like me and my friend that I grew up with and all this. Like it was this big group. We were all like walking through like Boys Town, eating lunch here, getting coffee there, going there. It was so fun. That was such a fun weekend. But I think I was drunk the entire time. I mean, I think we were all just, it was a mess. It was drinking and other things. It was just a mess. We were a mess that whole weekend. But this guy and I, like nothing ever happened. We never hooked up or anything like that. But I just like, I don't think we did. I don't really remember. But anyway, I just got like such a crush on this guy. The last night, I think we left. I think it was like, I don't remember what day we left now. I feel like I just told this story not too long ago. But anyway, I do remember that New Year's, Berlin, the bar Berlin, which I think is closed down, was having a Divine lookalike, John Waters' Divine, was having a Divine lookalike contest on New Year's Eve. And I don't know why, but my friend and I were like, we had to go there. It was like at 1 o'clock and we had to go there for it. And the last thing I remembered before like I blacked out for the night was like going, like she and I like holding on to each other going down to Berlin. And then the next day I woke up. Anyway, I remember when we left to go back to Indianapolis, like my two girlfriends were driving, with me. And so we were like, they were so ready to get out of town. And I remember we went over to his apartment. Like, I thought it was true love. Like, every guy I met back then I thought was true love. I thought we were going to be together forever. I truly did. I'm looking at these pictures right now. I'm like, oh my God, he looks so much like him. But I really, truly thought that it was going to be true love. And I remember in this apartment, and it had, like, exposed brick on it. It was so cute. And it was right in Boys Town. It was real small. But I remember he had, like, he was playing all this music and these candles were lit and we're all sitting in this like cramped apartment and like there's like 4 of us there. It's like, oh, it's my friend, her 2 boyfriends that like were in love. Even though then the other guy got with somebody else. They were together for like 5 years, broke up, and then he moved to Los Angeles. He actually, in Los Angeles, lived with my roommate that now lives in Berlin. They lived in, because they were friends here. They lived in Los Angeles together for about 6 months. I'll never forget, because they were paying $1,700 for a studio apartment. I was like, I remember her calling me. I was like, $1,700? She's like, it's real cute, though. I was like, 17, I mean, we're talking, this is like, she moved out there with him before I got sober. I don't remember when that would have been. So sometime before 1994. $1,700 for a studio apartment in West Hollywood. What? So anyway, so that love didn't last either. But I truly did think that the love with me was going to last. I don't even really remember talking to him a whole lot after I got back. He was such a sweet guy. He was really nice. And I do remember he wasn't like a big drinker. He wasn't into drugs or anything like that. He was just a super nice guy. I think he was a couple years older than me. And I just was like, this guy is solid. And I was like, I want you to move to Indianapolis. I remember we talked about that weekend. Like, the gays, we do move fast. I was like, no, you should move to Indianapolis and you can move in with me and all this kind of stuff. I mean, I was such a mess. I don't even know what I was thinking. But anyway, I remember I was sitting in this cramped apartment. And I remember he played, it's Liza Minnelli, some album, I think with the Pet Shop Boys or something, but then he was playing this Bette Midler album, and I remember this song, Do You Want, every time I hear that song, I always think of that moment. Do you want to dance? And he said something about, do you want another cup of coffee or something like that, and I looked over at my friend, and she looked at me like, we need to get the fuck out of here. Sorry, we need to get out of here now. Like, we need to go. Like, we need to be in Indianapolis 2 hours ago. Like, it is time. I remember we walked outside, and it was like near dusk, and like snow was falling. I thought it was so pretty. I was like, can't we just stay in Chicago a few more days? I'm in love. I got nothing to get back to. I got nothing to get back to. My life is a disaster, and this man is going to save my life. I think that's really like why I always was like falling in love, thinking somebody was gonna save my life. Anyway, I was gonna call this vlog today. My husband left me. This is where I will not do, like, people always accuse me of clickbait. I mean, I could sew today, like I could be like this and be like, my husband left me, and it, like, everybody would watch that vlog. Well, not everybody, but a few people would. But my husband left me. He did. He left me to go to the Bachelor party in Tennessee. I've been singing the blues ever since. That's actually a Janis Joplin line. I don't know how I'm going to get on through this weekend. I really don't. I have to be honest with you. I'm very excited for my weekend by myself a little bit. I really, really am. He has like been informing me every minute of every second of what he's been doing. So they left this morning. He left here at 6 to go over to, so he drove down this is a joint bachelorette party. And so, and I was invited, if you guys haven't heard the story, I was invited. I decided to opt out because it's changed kind of a lot, okay? But originally it was 2 cabins in the middle of nowhere, Tennessee, okay? Which I would love. I would love that. I love cabins, all that kind of stuff. But it's a guy's cabin and it's a girl's cabin, okay? Which I could have stayed in wherever I wanted to stay. So all of his guys were gonna stay. It was like him and like, I think like 6 or 8 guys. And then it was her and like 6 or 8 girls. And some of them overlap because some of the girls are with some of the guys. Like some of them are married, some of them are couples, things like that. And so I was invited to the whole thing. And there was another friend of Alex's who is part of this group, and so is her husband, and he's sober too. And so both of us were kind of like, let's just let them go do their thing this weekend. I really thought about it. So this is what they're doing. Okay, so like tonight, well, today when they got there, they went on some, like, they were out on, like, some lake, but tomorrow they're going on, like, a bigger lake, and then they're going to be on a boat all day long. So it was supposed to be, like, he got a boat for his guys, and she got a boat for her girls, and they were going to be on 2 different boats. And it's going to basically be just, like, them drinking all day on this boat, okay? And then tomorrow night, they're just hanging out in the house. They're hanging out in the house tonight and doing games, doing bachelorette party games and stuff like that. And then on Saturday, they're going to Bonnaroo. They're taking a party bus, an hour and a half, both ways to Bonnaroo, okay? And then they're coming back after being there all day long, and then they're coming back on Sunday. So somebody suggested on the vlog that I should go down there and just spend one day with them. You want me to take an Uber to middle of Tennessee? It's a 7-hour drive, okay? It's past where Tommy goes, to Lake Norris, Tennessee. I should take an Uber 7 hours to, no. I don't need to do everything with my husband. I don't understand that whole thing. Like, Caroline goes on girls' trips left and right. I like look at her sometimes and I'll be like, yeah, people think it's weird that Alex and I don't always do everything together. And she's like, after 17 years, people think that's weird? I'm like, yeah. She goes, are they married? She's like, Mike is so happy when I go out of town for the weekend that he can just do whatever he wants to do for the weekend. And honestly, I'm very, very excited about it. I was excited about, like, I got a list of things I want to do. I have been cleaning this house since I got up today to make the house exactly how I want it, making the bed so cozy and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, what ended up happening, sadly, is that a lot of his guys couldn't come. I have a feeling it might have been a girlfriend thing. I don't know a lot of these guys. But anyway, a lot of the guys couldn't end up coming at the last minute. So then the fiance was going to be in a cabin with like 3 guys. So they switched. So it's like a lot of girls and then like 4 guys. So they switched it all up. And so now the fiancés are staying together in one house. Alex is staying in that house with them. The fiance of the sober guy is staying there and like another girl. And then because all the guys that are coming are part of the couples. And so then like so the fiance and all the singles are staying in that one that are singles for the weekend. And then in the other house are all the couples. Does that make sense? I'll be honest with you, like, I really thought about it. I mean, I thought about, like, I really need to, like, maybe show up for this and stuff like that, and I thought, no. These are the things I used to do back in the day. I think when I explained it before, because there were a couple people that, like, were like, no, you really should go. I don't know if I explained this part of it, but there's been a couple things through the years that I really felt like I needed to show up for. Like, I really needed to push through it, and one of them was tailgating to an IU game in Bloomington with Alex and some of his friends. This was like the second year we were together. It was disastrous. I should never have gone. There's a lot of places that me, and I shouldn't speak for everybody sober, that as a sober person, I don't need to be. Tailgating with that kind of drinking, I mean, at a college football game is one place I don't have business going. I do know sober people that go tailgating, they go with other sober people, and maybe, like Alex, after that whole experience, was like, I want to take you back and have you experience tailgating when it's just like cooking out hot dogs and stuff like that. And we did do that, and I didn't enjoy either one of them. And that second time, there was really no drinking or anything. But we went with our friends that like they travel and do marathons and stuff, and they were at our wedding, but I didn't even enjoy that really. The other thing is the snake pit at the Indy 500. I mean, that to me And both of those times, like, it just was, I mean, Alex wasn't excessively drinking. It was like everybody around me. People ask me a lot about the cravings. It's not about the cravings. It's about the behaviors. It's about seeing people stumbling and falling over. I worry about people. Then I get stressed out, like, oh, there's somebody passed out over there on the grass. Like, is she okay? And then I'm like, you can't save everybody and all this kind of stuff. It's just a lot of the behaviors. And there's just a lot of places that I don't, A, feel comfortable. I'm not having fun, and so I'm basically just there, showing up because I feel like it's the right thing to do. And when I came back to starting going to meetings again, that year was when Alex had gotten like VIP passes to go to the Snake Pit, and I can remember I talked a lot about it in meetings. I was having a lot of like FOMO of not going, and I was like, no, I'm not going to go. Like, everybody was like, don't go. If you're even thinking about it, don't go. And I didn't go, and Alex took Fufu, and they had a great time. And I didn't miss anything by not going, you know? So on this trip, I just was kind of like, look, my husband is going to have more fun with his girlfriends, being able to do what he wants to do and all kind of stuff. And I mean, they're going to Bonnaroo, they're going on a lake, and they're going to be in a cabin, you know what I mean? And I thought to myself, and you're going to be miserable. Because at Bonnaroo, like, there's not, I looked at because that was the one thing that was kind of getting me. I was kind of like, well, maybe I want to go to Bonnaroo. But the day they're going, there's only like 3 people that I kind of might want to see. And I don't even know if they're going to go see those people. And they're going to be out there all day. Plus, it's an hour-and-a-half drive. And I also know, because I've had friends of mine, that Bonnaroo, you get no phone reception. So I was like, I don't know that I want to do that. I'm not a big, like, I like being on boats, but I don't like to be on boats when people are, like, drinking all day long and stuff like that, because I can't get off of it. Like, if I want to go and, like, they're driving, like, 45 minutes to this lake. And so if like, an hour in, I always need an exit plan. So if, like, an hour in, I get there, and I don't want to be there anymore. Like, Alex would be like, babe, if you want to go back, I'll go back with you. But I don't want to ruin that for him. I want him to be able to have his experience. So I just was like, I don't need to do this. So anyway, but he's been texting me all day long. Today, he is super, super tired because he pushed himself and stayed up too late. We were over at my in-laws last night till like 11:30. And then he had to get up today. He left her at 6 to get there because they left at 7. And then it took a 7-hour drive. And then they went, I think, to Costco to get groceries and stuff like that. I don't know what time you texted me that they finally got. He was like, we're finally here. What time did they text me that they were finally here? He's been sending me little kissy pictures of being at the lake and things like that. Oh, they're all like laying in the tubes in the lake. What did he say? He said the other car got to Costco first, saw the shopping. We're getting it done, blah, blah, blah. About an hour from the cabins. What time was that? That was at 1:30. And he said the drive wasn't bad. I'm really tired. I'm ready not to be in a moving vehicle anymore. I'm so ready to get there. He said unpacking and getting a little work done. And that was 2:45. So they got there about 2:30. So that's a long day already. So anyway, but he's having a lot of fun. But I am having Peter's Bachelor weekend. It's so weird, you guys. I said this to Alex on the way home last night. I got kind of real emotional about it. Not about him being gone. I'm fine. Like, to be honest with you, it's like when Eric goes out of town, I'm like, Tanya, what do you do when Eric goes out of town? She goes, oh my God. She's like, I vacuum the carpet. I clean the living room. I make the kitchen really, really nice. I make the bed really, really nice. I light a bunch of candles and a fire, and I'm just like relaxed. And that's kind of what I did today too, you know? And so I was kind of excited to have the weekend to myself. But last night, on the way home from my mother-in-law's, I started getting really, really sad. It was the weirdest thing. I was like, I said to Alex, I said, you know, this is really weird. Am I wrong about this? I was like, did he go out of town I can't remember. But I think this is the first time that Alex has gone out of town without me since Boo has passed away. And I said that to him. I go, it's really weird that this is like the first time, you know, that you're going to be out of town and Boo's not going to be here. And he goes, I was just thinking that the other day. He was like, I was wondering if you were going to bring it up. And I said, it's really weird. And he's like, are you okay? And I said, yeah, I'm okay. I said, it just feels really weird. Like, in 17 years of us being together, like, this is legit, like, the first time that I've ever been alone in the house for, like, a weekend. I feel like there was some other time that he went, but now why can't I remember when it was? I don't know, it feels weird. Even if there has been since Boo passed away, and It hasn't been like a couple days in a row, I don't think. It feels really weird. It feels really weird because I can remember, when Alex would be out of town. Like, do you remember back in the day with PP? So if you guys are new and you haven't watched me for a long time, we had our Chihuahua, PP. Where's his picture up there? It's up there somewhere. All of their pictures are up there. So we had PP, the flying Chihuahua. And when Alex would go away, like to a music festival or to a meeting or something, I used to sing this song. And the song was, it's PP and Peter's Bachelor Weekend. It's PP and Peter's Bachelor Weekend. Don't worry about us, because we'll be just fine, because we have Tucker and Boo Radley too. And so when PP passed away, it was real weird. I don't know. It was just like me and the dogs for the weekend, and it was just real exciting, kind of fun, and I just made it real fun, And then after PP passed away, I didn't have a lot of weekends alone. Like, Alex didn't really leave a whole lot after that, with just like Tucker and Boo. But after Tucker passed away, there were a couple times that Alex went out of town and it was just me and Boo Radley. I don't know, it just feels weird. I really miss the little guy so much. Like, I was sitting there thinking about it last night when we got home, and I thought, I am so ready to get a dog. Like, I am so ready to get a dog. But then I get into my feelings, and I'm like, I don't know, It was weird because I was thinking about, I was thinking about some book last night, about I think it's like that book by, what is the book by, I can't think of the guy, he wrote Mitch Albom, but did he not write a book about he gets to spend one more day with his mom, or it's called One More Day or something like that? I can't remember what the book is, but anyway, 3 People You Meet in Heaven, he wrote a couple books, but anyway, I was thinking, there's a lot of people that have passed that I would love to spend just an hour with, or another day, my mom, definitely, but a lot of people, but I just would love to spend a couple more hours with my dogs, And I don't want my grief to stop me from getting another dog, but I get to this point where I'm like, I want to get another dog, or I'm ready to get another dog. And recently I feel like it kind of comes and goes. Like, recently I feel like people have been sending me pictures a lot. And, or links to rescues and stuff like that. Somebody actually sent me when Petey passed away, I really wanted to get, and so did Alex, really wanted to get a Chihuahua. Alex isn't, I'll be honest with you, he's not real sold on the whole, dog thing. I mean, he's like, you get as many dogs as you want. He's 100% supportive of me getting dogs. He's like, if you want to get 5 dogs, get 5 dogs. He really struggles with the emotional part of losing a dog, and he is not entirely sure that he thinks it's worth having a dog, what you go through after a dog is gone. So, I mean, he's completely supportive of getting more dogs and all that kind of stuff. And he's kind of in a different place than he was after Boo Radley passed away. And he'll send me, he'll be like, oh, somebody sent me this rescue dog, blah, 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 what do you think? And stuff like that. But he's definitely not the one pushing to get another dog. It's definitely probably me. And he's always like, whenever we talk about it, he's like, babe, he's like, do you want to get it? He's like, I mean, do what you want to do. He was like, I'll love the dog, I'll help with it, blah, 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 whatever. But he really, really struggles with getting another dog. And the grief that goes along with losing a dog. I think, and I know that there are other people out there that have done it, but we lost 3 dogs in 5 years. In the 5 years from when we lost PP to when we lost Boo Radley, we lost PP. I had the car accident. We lost Tucker. I had pancreatitis. We had some other stuff that happened with friends of ours in our lives. We had a lot of really some serious tragedies I've never talked about on here, but didn't have to do with us, had to do with our families. And then we lost Boo Radley. It was a lot of stuff, and I think it all kind of happened in between Pee-Pee and Boo Radley. And I think as far as a couple, like, it really strengthened us to bring us together. And I think it really tested us on how much work we really had done to show, like, we've worked really, really hard on building a foundation for our marriage and our relationship that we can get through all this. I don't know that we ever questioned that, but I think it is in times like that that you really think it's really, really, you know, it's like, whatever. And then you get to the other side of it and you're like, we are stronger than we thought. The camera stopped. It's like you get through it on the other side and you think we are stronger than we thought we were. It's almost kind of like with Alex, like each one got worse. Like Pee-Pee was so hard for him because that was a dog that he brought into the relationship. It was really like his very first like dog that he, you know, really had. And he had a dog growing up for a little while, but like this was like his dog, you know? And Tucker, Pee-Pee we had a lot, we were kind of prepared for. I mean, we knew because that was like a year and a half of us knowing of, somebody just texted me, who was that? It was like a year and a half of us knowing, like, who just texted me? It like came up on my screen and then it didn't. But with Pee-Pee we knew about his heart condition and then the medicine that affected the kid. I mean, it was like a lot of vet appointments and we knew. Tucker's just kind of came out of nowhere. What was weird about Tucker was that, if you guys remember, like, Tucker had a heart condition and then that wasn't what he died from. I mean, we were fully prepared that we were going to see with Tucker exactly what we saw with Pee-Pee. So we thought, well, we've got another year or so. And that just wasn't the case. And it literally happened in 3 or 4 days. With Boo Radley, I mean, it's weird how you have different relationships with the different dogs, you know? It's like, I think also, like, after Tucker and Pee-Pee, like, it was just the two of us and Boo for so long, and it was just me and Boo a lot during the day. And Boo was always kind of my baby anyway. I mean, when we got them, like, Alex named Tucker and I named Boo, and I don't know, they just kind of, like, attached to each of us, like, you know, and I remember that time, like, it hasn't even been a year yet. It feels weird. I mean, it was Boo's 15th birthday, and then everything turned after that. And it just was, if you guys remember, it was just mania. I mean, it just was like, it was, I mean, that's just the only word that can describe it. The pacing and just the fear and the constantly cleaning up the kitchen. And he just, like, you know, it's just everything. And just, like, the vet calls every day. And just constantly being so stressed out about it. And I think, like, and I honestly always thought that Boo would live to be like 19. I had this weird gut feeling that Boo would be the dog. If you've watched my vlog for a long time, you'll know I used to say, like, after Pee-Pee, I was really worried because if Tucker passed away first, I didn't think Boo would really understand. Like, I didn't think Boo would get it because Boo was always kind of by himself. And what we realized after Tucker passed away was that Boo was a lot smarter than we ever gave him credit for. And Boo was kind of like, it's where I came up, I mean, long before that I came up with, like, he's his own person. I mean, he really was his own person. I mean, he did what he wanted to do, and he really bonded with Alex and I. And I mean, he had already, but in such a way when they were gone. I mean, almost in kind of a weird way, like he knew that we knew him or needed him. And so I just think I just thought we're going to get through this. And the vet kept on saying that, you know, like, I'll let you know when it's not good anymore. I don't know. And, like, in retrospect, it seems like it just kind of happened so quick, but it really didn't. I mean, it was a month of that. It was a month of, who is this? Oh, it's Nikki. She asked me how I'm feeling. Did I talk about me not feeling good today? Did I ever talk about that? About the allergy medicine and all that? Did I talk about that? I don't even remember if I did or not. I might have to stop this and talk about it. if I haven't talked about it, anyway, I started feeling sick last night at like in the middle of the night, and then I realized it was my allergies. And then, but I woke up today and I felt even worse. You can kind of hear it in my voice a little bit today. And so then, like, my friend online posted something, and then I talked to her, and then I talked to another friend, and all my friends have like the same symptoms. Apparently, the air quality in Indianapolis is like crappy today, and allergies are out of control. And every time I take my allergy medicine, I start feeling a little bit better. The problem is, I don't take a very strong allergy medicine, and there's not really anything that I can take that's stronger, and so I just kind of have to live with this. And I really want to take a walk, but I don't. I feel like I already talked about this, did I? But I don't. Maybe I was talking on the phone. I don't remember. But I don't want to go outside and make myself feel worse than I already do by getting a worse headache. I don't really have a headache anymore as much, but I don't want to get more congested. And my throat hurt when I woke up today. Did I already talk about all this? I feel like I did. If I didn't, anyway. It's purely allergies. So, anyway, with the boo thing, yeah, I mean, it feels like it was quick, but it really wasn't. And, you know, and I think, like, Alex and I process things so differently. I mean, he was at work when I was, like, all day long with it here. And so, I mean, I remember him saying, like, he was really worried about me. He was like, you're like hyper-focused on this. And he was like, I'm just really worried about you because I'm at work all day long. And, I don't know. I remember looking at Boo. He just looked so tired. I mean, he just was like the pacing and all of it. He just was so tired. He was such a little trooper. So it's weird, you know, it's weird that this weekend is like, I'm here completely alone, you know, no dog to take out, no dog to, you want to hear something funny? When the dogs were here and they were alive, I can remember, like, when Alex was gone, Boo would always, like, snuggle right next to me. Tucker would kind of sleep over by his pillow and stuff like that. But I can remember I would put on, sometimes I would get scared late at night. I don't usually get scared late at night anymore. I think part of it is because I'm here so much, you know, by myself, like, you get used to it over time. Like, you know, I wouldn't go to the basement back in the day. Now I do laundry at 4 o'clock in the morning. I listen to scary books while I'm in the lawn. You know, the basement doesn't scare me. It doesn't scare me to walk outside. We got cameras all over this house. I'm not scared of all that. But I can remember I would lay in bed and it would be like our house. I mean, it's so small, but you can like hear things if lights go off down here, you know, whatever. And I'd be so scared that I would like, I want to watch something kind of homey. And so I would put on episodes of Love Boat on my phone. And then we would like, or like a Christmas movie, it was Christmas time or something. We would just like lay in bed. And Boo would just like, Boo would just lay right there. And I'd be like, let's watch this episode of Love Boat. And it would just kind of make me feel like calmer and stuff like that. But anyway, it's so weird too. Like, I have this feeling, I'm such a believer that rescues find their owners or pick their owners. And everybody that I know that has rescues, which is everybody that I know, says the same thing. But like, people send me these like links and pictures, you know? And I'm like, I'll look at it, and they're cute. I mean, the dogs are cute, you know? But I'll look at it, and it's gonna sound crazy, but like, I think if I saw a dog that looked very similar to Boo, I think I'd jump on it right away, and I really haven't yet. I felt like that after PP too. Like, I wanted a black Chihuahua. Alex and I even talked about getting like a black Chihuahua and calling him Junior. Like, Alex came up with that idea when we were walking on the beach in Mexico right after PP had passed away. He's like, what do you think if we get another black Chihuahua and name him? We even had Melissa at the time looking into like Chihuahua rescues and stuff. And we kind of decided that we thought we'd be the best dad dogs we could be, and to Tucker and Boo, and we were. And then that's over, you know? Anyway, Alex was like, I'm kind of a little worried about you, because he was like, you're going to be there, you know, this week. Not worried about me, like worried about me. I got people that check on me and my neighbors and stuff, but like, with like Boo not being here and me getting upset about that, anyway. It's not silly. I was going to say it's silly. It's not silly to have feelings and emotions, you know, attached to that. But I haven't really seen a picture of a dog yet that I'm like, I think I'm supposed to have that dog. Or read about a dog that, I mean, because, you know, there's always, like, information about the rescues. I haven't seen anything where I'm like, I think this is the dog that I'm supposed to get. Like, I don't, like, do I see cute dogs? Do I see dogs that I like their stories and I feel for them? I mean, people send me anything anymore. I mean, what I do know right now that I don't want, I think, in all honesty, if I was single and I wasn't married to Alex, I probably would rescue senior dogs. I'm not putting him through that again. I mean, he told me, he goes, if you want to get senior rescue dogs and they're literally on their way out and you want to give them one last home before they die, he's like, I will support you 100%. I just don't know that emotionally that's fair to him. So I wouldn't do that because of Alex. But I see a lot of people that rescue dogs and they're like, you know, we gave her 6 months, the best life ever. There's something about that. When this all started with Boo, I didn't think that I could handle that. I think I could today. It's not really an age thing to me anymore. You know, Caroline rescued Mabel and she was 5. And Tanya's most recent rescue that she got, I think she was 2.5 when Tanya rescued her. I think at first I really wanted a puppy. I don't really feel like that anymore. I mean, I would love a puppy because then you get to spend longer with them, but you don't know that. You know what I mean? I think about the fact also that, like, Pee-Pee didn't come into my life until he was after 2. He was 2.5 when I met Alex. So, and Pee-Pee and I were like soulmates. I mean, like, we had such a bond, you know? So, I don't know. I don't really have like an age anymore on a dog. Like, I've seen dogs. People have sent me things about dogs that are like 5 and need rescues. A lot of the ones that are like 3 to 5 that people have sent me are like breeder dogs that breeders have taken horrible care of, and they have done like that's what Mabel was. Like, Caroline rescued Mabel because she was a breeder dog. She was a breeder min pen, and she had like, I think 7 litters of puppies, and they were going to put her down. They were going to euthanize her. And so this rescue, like, rescues dogs that are from like I don't breeder litter, or I don't know. I think it was like a specific min pen thing or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, because they were going to put her down, because that's what these breeders do, is that when the dogs have, you know, enough, like they've had enough litters or whatever, they put them down. And so a lot of the rescues that I have been sent that are like 3 to 5 are like a lot of like breeder studs or breeder mothers. I don't want to say that word on here, obviously, but that are going to be euthanized if nobody will take them. And the sad thing about it is that they've literally like lived in a cage. Like, Caroline thinks that Mabel lived in a cage for the entire 5 years of her life and just bred puppies, and they never let her out and stuff like that. Because she was like real safe in her cage, but she was also cage aggressive. And so Caroline's like, I think they just kept her in like a 3x3 cage her entire life for 5 years. Just let her outside every once in a while. So I don't know, like, you know, I would still like to have like a boy dog, but I don't, because that's what I've always had, but I don't really care, I guess. Also, I'm open to anything. I don't know. But then I get to the point where I'm like, I'm ready to have a dog. And I really felt like that the other night. I was like, God, I'm so ready to have a dog. And then I just started thinking about Boo Radley, and I was like, I don't know, maybe I'm not. Anyway, I think I'll know when the dog comes along. So on happier news, let's talk about us seeing our nephew last night for the first time. Oh my God, you guys, so much fun. So we went over to my mother-in-law's last night, and we got there about 10 minutes after Jesse and Fufu got there. So Jesse and Fufu they were staying in at her parents' house, and for like a couple days. They were actually supposed to come down here, so the whole thing got all confusing, okay? Because, so Jesse and Fufu were supposed to come down here originally, like Wednesday. Well, originally it was going to be like next week, which is why, like, Alex was like, okay, I can do this because the bachelor party is the previous weekend, so you guys will be in town, blah, 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 which is originally why we decided not to go out to San Diego. Okay, so then Alex paid for his part of the trip, paid for his part of the cabin, paid for his got his Bonnaroo ticket, paid for everything. It's a very expensive bachelorette weekend, okay? Paid for everything, and then found out that they were actually coming in town. They had switched their plans because it's Father's Day weekend. And so they wanted, like, to be with Jesse's dad for Father's Day, which is awesome because it's his first grandchild ever. Out of 4 girls. So he was really excited about that. And her parents are so nice. They're so nice. So they were staying up there like 2 days and coming down here for like 3 days, and then they're going back up there. So they changed their plans because when they got here, they changed their plans because Alex was like, they thought he was leaving Thursday night. And so they were going to come down here Thursday morning, and then we were going to spend all day with them Thursday. But then they found out that Alex is actually, like, everybody's leaving on Thursday morning. And Alex was like, well, I can drive down there myself to Tennessee. He was like, I can drive to Tennessee by myself. And they're like, no, don't do that. So that's why they came last night. They upped it early. But then then they're here. They were here tonight, or last night, tonight, tomorrow night, and then they're leaving on Saturday to go back like early on Saturday to spend Father's Day with Jesse's parents. So that's what they're doing here in town. So then tomorrow night, my mother-in-law is babysitting her grandson, which she's real excited about. I think she and Alex's grandma, like she's gonna go to with Alex's grandma and something like over to his aunt's house or something like that, and they're gonna be over there. Because Fufu wanted to spend some time with his grandma too. 4 generations, you guys. That's really, really cool. His grandma, his mom, Fufu, and now his son. Isn't that so cool? So, but then they're going to the Pacer game. So Fufu is like the world's biggest Pacer fan in the entire world. So tomorrow night, I don't even know how he got tickets. He had Julie. Who's Julie? Do I even know a Julie? Julie! Jessie is, and no, that's not one of her sister's names. Jessie, I'm gonna call it Julie now. Jessie, oh my God, do you know what we came up with last night? Well, Peter came up with it. So we were coming up, so the whole family calls, so Fufu's name is Juan Carlos, okay? So like Jessie calls him Juan, all of his friends call him Juan. Alex calls him Fufu because it's off of a friend of his in college that his name was like Fufi. And so Alex changed it to Fufu and started calling Fufu when Fufu was like 14, like the year before I came in the picture. Maybe he was like 12 or something. He started calling him Fufu. And so Alex and all of Alex's friends call him Fufu. Like if you ask any of Alex's friends that knew him from back in the day to now, like his girlfriends all this week, and they'll be like, how was Fufu last night? Like none of his friends call him Juan. Like even when Alex, like this girl is getting married this weekend, she and Alex went to San Diego for that Crest music festival, and she knows all of them. She knows Jessie and Fufu and everybody. She's like their age. And she said, like when we were talking, she was like, when are you guys going over to Fufu's house? So she even calls him Fufu, even though she has met him as Juan and stuff. But the family calls him Tato, T-A-T-O, okay? So I said last night, because Alex's mom, we were all sitting on her patio and stuff, and she was like, oh, she was like, Tato, Tato. And I said, oh my God, you know what we can call him, their son, Cruz. I said, his nickname can be Tatito. And Alex was like, oh my God, Fufito and Tatito. So he came up with those nicknames last night. But anyway, so we got over there, and we were there, I think we got over there like right at 6, and we were over there till like 11:30 or something like that. We watched the entire Pacer game last night, which by the way, I said in my drama video that I was the psychic of the world if the Pacers won by 2. I was like kind of hoping that the score would be by 2 just so I could say I was a psychic. They actually won by 9, I think, but they are 2. It's 2-1 now. So anyway, Jessie and Fufu have tickets. He's like loves the Pacers. I think one of his friends got the tickets. Jessie was like, she was kind of laughing. She was like, because I have a really good friend of mine that's sober, and she and her cousin go to like every Pacers game, like literally every Pacers game, home and away. And her seats are really, really good. And I think it's kind of her family. I think they're her family's tickets. And so Fufu knows her too, because like Fufu knew her from back in the day. We were somewhere and like I introduced her and blah, 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 whatever. And so he was like, oh my God, I saw that she goes to we were talking about her last night. He's like, I saw that she goes to like every Pacer game. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, do you think she could get us like down into the club seats? Like whenever I was like, I can call her if you want. He's like, no, you don't have to do that. Jessie was like, no, call her. It was real funny. But anyway, so, because Jessie was like, the seats are not good. They're like nosebleed seats. I was like, are there any bad seats? And Alex goes, at Gamebridge? He goes, yeah, I used to dance there. It's horrible. So anyway, because I guess Gamebridge used to be like Lucas Oil Stadium where Alex used to dance for the Fever games. So anyway, it was funny because I said to Fufu, I don't know that Fufu and I have ever talked about, so if you don't know this, when Alex was in high school and college, his job, like, was like out of school as a student, he was a dancer for the Fever, like got paid to be like had the Pacemates, like all of his friends were Pacemates and stuff. So Colts cheerleader, like, I think the Colts cheerleaders actually get paid the least out of all of it. So I said to Fufu, I said, did you guys used to go to, like, when you were like in junior high and stuff, go to Fever games, like, and see Alex dance? He was like, we went to almost all of them. He was like, it was so weird. He was like, people would have like signs with Alex's face on it, and they would like have Alex, like, he would run out, like. And Alex has told me stories before, but like all the dancers on the Fever dance team had like fans and stuff like that. He said, like, I was like, did you really? He's like, oh yeah. He was like, you know, people would like come, like, we would like run out of the locker rooms. They want us to sign their things and stuff like that. He's like, it was really cool. He was like, nobody ever believed me at school. Then they would come to a Fever game. They'd be like, oh my God. Like, it's like they do that with the Pacemates too. Actually, that friend that I was telling you about, she took a picture with two of the Pacemates last night. I was like, oh, those are Alex's friends. That's bizarre. Indianapolis is a small city. But anyway, so they're going to that tomorrow night, and my mother-in-law and her mom are babysitting. So they're really excited about that. And then they're leaving Saturday morning. They're not entirely sure what they are doing. Jesse was texting me earlier about maybe a barbecue at Carlos's, but that's kind of up in the air. Because I said, whatever you guys do, let me know. And so I said I can, you know, like, take an Uber over and blah, blah, blah. So I may do that depending on, well, tomorrow's Friday, so the Pacer game. If they end up staying until, I think they're leaving on Saturday. So, I don't know. But Jesse's been, like, texting me and stuff. They haven't done anything today except we're just, like, hanging out around the house. So last night, because I was like, keep me in the loop. And she was like, we will. She's like, we can pick you up. And I was like, you don't have to pick me up. I was like, I can take an Uber to wherever you guys go. And she was like, okay. So today she was like, her and Fufu were both texting me and being like, and so is Alex's mom. Like, we're just hanging around the house. If you want to come over here. I was like, no, I want to film some videos. Let me know what you do later. So they were talking about possibly doing a barbecue at Carlos and Liliana's, but that's always later. And it's also like a 45-minute Uber ride. Last night was fun though. We'll see. But last night was really fun. We got over there about 6, and it was Fufu and Jesse, Alex's mom, and Alex and I. And we just stood out. We just hung out and talked until, like, I think Carlos had just had a baseball game. He came with his friend that used to live, he and his brother used to live with Alex's mom when they moved her from Venezuela. So they knew Fufu really well. They're like Carlos's age. And so he came over because they're both in the same baseball team after the game. And then Liliana and the kids came. That was at about, I would say about 9:30. Oh my God, you guys. Okay, it was so sweet. Sebastian was like, you could tell he was real nervous to hold Cruz. First of all, this baby, and I know everybody says this about their baby, but this baby is so adorable. I mean, absolutely so adorable. And very, very well behaved. And I mean, we're all holding him, you know, and stuff like that. He just was super sweet. And so, and Jesse and Fufu want to, like, I mean, they want to have a couple kids. So this is like the oldest of their family. It just was really fun seeing them and talking to them. And the baby was adorable. But the sweetest moment was Carlos was sitting there, and you could tell he really wanted to hold the baby. I think it was when, like, his dad, Carlos, was holding the baby. Carlos was so funny with him. Carlos is so good with kids. And he was, like, holding him, and he was, like, Carlos does this, like, dance thing. It's like this squat kind of dancing, and he's holding him. He's just so, and he has baseball outfit on, you know. Oh, this was the other thing, too. So, Jesse got t-shirts just for Carlos and Alex that said Tio on them, and then one for Alex's mom that says Abuela on it, and so they all have the t-shirt. It was so cute. So, anyway, so Carlos was, like, dancing with Cruz and stuff, and I look over, and I'm sitting on the couch next to, like, Carlitos and Sebastian. Alex is sitting on the other side, and you could just see Carlos, and I said, Carlitos, I said, do you want to, because they all, like, you know, hugged him and stuff when they came in, but I was like, they all seemed real nervous kind of around him. So Carlitos is 12, and Sebastian's 8, and I said, Carlitos, do you want to hold Cruz? And he was like, I kind of do. And I said, hey, Carlos, I said, let him hold him. And so Carlos came over and, like, told him how to, like, hold his head and stuff like that. You guys, it was so sweet. Carlitos was so excited to hold his cousin. And so he was sitting there, and Alex was talking to him, and Alex said, so is this going to be like your favorite cousin? He goes, yeah. And he goes, when he comes to town, he's like, when I'm older, and he's like, man, he's like, I'll be out of college when he's my age, because he was like putting it together in his head. And he's like, I'm going to show him all the things in Indianapolis, and I'm going to go out and visit him in San Diego. It was so cute. It was really, really sweet. Yeah, and so then the Pacer game came on at 8:30, and that just kind of ruled the room. At that point, we watched the Pacer game. Alex is like, do you know what's going on? I'm like, I'm not stupid. I cannot understand football, but yes, basketball, I totally understand. I do understand basketball. I make jokes about not understanding sports, but I do understand the point system and the free throws and all that. I get it all, okay, and the fouls and everything. I've seen enough basketball. I grew up in Indiana, okay? My mother, like, both my parents, but my mother was obsessed with high school and college basketball, really college basketball. I mean, Indiana is kind of like basketball nation. So we watched the game and stuff like that. It was so funny because, you know, like when Alex's mom was like really into it too. She loves, because Fufu grew up loving basketball, so she would watch it with him. But you know when they go, come on, dun dun, defense. She would say revenge instead of defense, and Alex got laughing so hard. And then we ordered pizza last night from this place, I don't remember what it's called, Sam's Pizza or something like that. I don't even remember what this place was called. I meant to ask Fufu. He was the one that ordered it. And it was so good. Fufu was so sweet. He's like, are you vegan or vegetarian? He's like, they are so good about remembering that. And I said, I'm vegetarian. I said, but get whatever you want. I said, I'm not super hungry. Because I was like, oh, maybe I can just make it through the pizza, and when I get home, have one of my salads. I was like, you know what? Just eat pizza with the family. Just enjoy it tonight. So I let myself splurge a little bit, and the pizza was so good. And he got like bruschetta, but not the kind that has ham or anything on it. It just had like tomato stuff. And then he also got mozzarella sticks. I did not eat tons. I had like 2.5 pieces of pizza, and then I had 2 mozzarella sticks. And I brought a Diet Dr. Pepper with me, and I had 2 waters there, so I did okay. That was my sport. And I'm not going to brunch on Sunday because Alex won't be back until like later in the afternoon. So I'm not going to brunch on Sunday. So you know what's so weird, you guys? This is the weirdest thing of me talking about Boo and stuff. Like out of the corner of my eye, I just looked. Did you see me look up? I swore that on the stairs there was like a light shining. And it was like right. Do you remember when Boo Radley used to stick his little head in there and be like, well, hey, little guy. Do you remember I used to say that? It was the weirdest thing. It was right there. But it was so much fun. And so I looked at Alex, it was like 20 after 11. Well, it was like 20 till 11. And I said, what time are you want? I said, what time do you have to get up in the morning? He goes, I have to be up at 5. I go, you have to be up at 5? I said, it's like almost 11. He goes, I know. I go, what time do you want to leave? And he goes, 11. Well, the game wasn't over by then. So as soon as the game, we all left. Everybody left. And Jesse had put him in his pajamas earlier, which were so cute because they're a little bit big for him. And so, and we wanted to get a bunch of stuff, but we don't want them to have to fly back with it. And so Jessie and Fufu were telling us that her parents are going to drive out there in like a month. And so anything we want to like give them, we can give to them and they can bring it out there. But I think, so Alex and I are planning on a San Diego trip, a definite San Diego trip sometime in the next couple months to go out there and stay for 3 or 4 days. We're going to like stay with them at their house for like 2 days. They'll probably stay in like a hotel for 2 days, so we can just like, it'd just be like some one-on-one time with them and stuff like that. So yeah, Alex was really, really happy because he was really worried he wasn't going to get to spend any time with them at all. Alex, I think, held the baby for the first hour and a half that we were there. Like literally did not let go of the baby. Held him the entire time. He's so proud. You know, it's so weird because, so he and Carlos are so close in age, but when Alex moved here, Alex was 12, Carlos was 11. They're 11 months apart. So when they moved here to the United States, Alex was 12, Carlos was 11, and Fufu was 4. So Alex has all these stories of like, when they moved here, his mom working, she was an engineer, and so she wouldn't get home until later, and they moved her for a job. So she wouldn't get home till later in the evening from this, where she worked. And so she would say, okay, like Alex, like you have to, like when you get off of school, like, you know, Fufu's going over to so-and-so's house or whatever, like you've got to go and pick him up and then like, you know, help make dinner for Carlos and Fufu and whatever. So I think there's really, like with Alex, there's very much of like a father figure kind of role with Fufu. He's very, very proud of him. And to see Fufu standing there, and Fufu is so attentive to Jessie and like, are you okay? Like, how you feeling? Blah, blah, blah. And to hear Fufu talk about like all the baby stuff. I mean, we were talking last night And Fufu was like, how old were you when you went, how old was I when you went? I said, you were like 14 or 15. He was like, is it crazy to you? I said, Fufu, it's surreal. You know, like, you've grown. I'm like, I said, I'm going to be like 70 when he's like graduating from high school, you know? I said, if I'm still here, you know, it's surreal. We're just really, really proud of Fufu, and I mean, especially, you know, just Jesse's just such a wonderful woman, and I just love my family so much, you know, just like, I feel so blessed with my in-laws. I have the most amazing mother-in-law, and her mom, and Carlos and Liliana, and Fufu and Jesse and the kids and stuff. They're just so fantastic. And then my dad and my stepmom and Caroline, I just like, and Mike and David and his girlfriend. I don't know, I just feel like I have the most amazing family. I feel so blessed. I know so many people that just constantly are fighting with their families and don't have good relationships and stuff like that. I'm not going to say that everything has always been easy my entire life with my family, because it hasn't. There's been a lot of like bad times with family too, you know, or like tough times, not bad times, but tough. Camera stopped. But anyway, but I just feel blessed. I feel so blessed to be able to be part of all of that. I don't know. There's just like, you know, I think me living in I don't know why I'm so emotional today. I think living in the present moment every day. Like sitting there last night, just while they're watching the Pacers game, and Alex's mom is like, come on, revenge. And we're all laughing, you know, and everybody's like passing the baby around. It's just like one of those moments. It's just like, I'm part of this. Like, I'm part of this, you know? It's like, I don't know. And them just like, you know, texting me today and just like, hey, we're not doing anything, but, you know, like, just want to let you know what we're doing. And like, and they know, like, I mean, I'm part of the family, you know, like that's cool. Like, I think for so long in my life, I looked at who didn't love me, who didn't like me, who I wasn't good enough for, that to get to a point in your life where you can look and say, there are people that love me, there are people that like me. I do matter, I am important, and I can give that love back to other people as well. Like, it's really a powerful thing. You know, it's like, I remember my mom would always talk about how lonely she was. She would always just say, I'm so lonely, and you know, I'd say, well, why don't you call so-and-so? And she'd say, I don't want to be a burden to anybody. She would always say that. She never wanted to call anybody because she'd say, I don't want to be a burden to anybody, you know? Even to my Aunt Kathy. And they didn't always get along. I mean, they were sisters. You know, they fought a lot. A lot. And I don't love when people die and then we paint a different picture of them than they are, so I'm not going to paint a different picture. But my mom could be very difficult at times. But I remember you know, I was in the first pew, you know, in the church, my mom's funeral. It's like a double-decker church, like there's upstairs in the back. And I remember, I couldn't really see. I mean, I'm not turning around in a funeral, you know? And so when it was time for me to give my eulogy, I got up and I had this whole thing written out. It was all about like movie quotes and things like that from The Way We Were and My Dog Skip and all these movies that my mom loved. And I got up there and I remember I turned around and I just was like, I literally was like it was overwhelming. And I said, the first thing I said was, my mom never knew how much she was so loved. Like, she just never knew that. Like, that this many people showed up. Yeah, many of them for me or whatever, but like this many people showed up that knew of my mom, loved my mom, cared about my mom. And yet she felt like she was completely alone in this world. And so I get sad, you know, about people passing away, and I get sad about the dogs and stuff like that. But I've really had a blessed life. I really have, you know, and I'm not ready for it to be over yet, obviously, but I've had a really, really blessed life. Filled with really, really amazing people. And you guys are such a part of that, you know, like, I mean, I say that, and it probably sounds trite to some degree, but it's like the other night, I don't even know here, if I screenshot it, I think I actually deleted it after I looked it up, but hold on a second. I mean, whoever it was, I won't look it up, because somebody commented on my vlog and they said, oh, there's 2 Fear Street movies on Amazon. You should go check them out. Lisa Frankenstein, I don't know what the other one was. And I added one to my list, and Lisa Frankenstein. And I'm like looking for, and I'm like, I don't know. It's like, Stacy, direct messages me. So many of you do about like movies and books or TV shows. And, people send me things about birds and pictures of their animals in their yards and pictures of a bunny and a cardinal. Like, that's so cool, And even if you don't send me anything, you just watch my videos. Like, you've never commented, you've never liked a video, you've never sent a DM or anything. But in some weird way, I'm part of your life because that's just a really cool thing, I was thinking about, I say this a lot. Sometimes, well, I haven't said it in a while actually, but in my videos about like who we give our time to. There are people that are fighting for their lives right now, fighting for another hour alive. If I said to you right now, like if you could have, if like your loved pet or loved one in your life, if you could have one more hour with them, most of us would jump at that, right? But then we just give hours of our lives away. It's why I say in my videos, like, who we talk to on the phone, who we watch on YouTube, who we listen to in a podcast, who we watch on TikTok, who we eat dinner with, who we work for, who we go out to spend time with, our friends, who we are married to, what family members we spend time with. We're literally giving them, time is a commodity. We are literally giving them periods of our life. When you give away your time, really think about where you're giving that. It's why one of the best questions I've asked myself this year is, where is my energy? Where am I giving my energy? Am I giving my energy to something negative that is just going to bring me down and make me feel sad? No, I don't do that anymore. If somebody else wants to do that, let them live in it. Let their entire life exist, which those people always say, it's not negative. I'm not negative. What are you talking about? I'm not negative. Let those people just exist in that misery and have wasted lives. It makes me sad for people, honestly. It really does. I've known people like that my entire life. My mother got stuck in cycles of negativity in her life. She just couldn't see out of it. And I feel like she lost a lot of time with that. This is my husband texting me. But I'm not doing that anymore, And time is a commodity. And he said, oh my God, we just went tubing, my poor arms. And I feel so blessed that so many of you, like I said, whether you've ever left a comment, liked a video, or anything, so many of you choose to give me some of your precious time. Like, in all honesty. And when you put it in that perspective that there are people out there that are literally, like, you would do anything for another hour. And there are people that are giving me that every single day by watching one of my videos. That's pretty miraculous. And that's not missed on me. Because there are people out there that I wish I had another hour with, And the fact that people so freely give that to me by watching my videos, no, that's not missed on me at all. At all. And the people that choose to allow me to be part of their life. When somebody allows you to be part of their life, whether that's because you're married to them, or even if they're a family member, or a friend, or whoever, like, that's a privilege that somebody allows you to be part of their life, I don't know how you are today, but I've had toxic friendships and relationships in my life. I've even had some toxic family relationships in my life. I don't deal with that shit anymore. I don't do that anymore. So the people that are allowed privilege or allowed access to my life, that's a privilege. And the people that allow me access to their life, to be part of their journey, to sit next to them in their life, to have dinner with them, talk to them on the phone, that is a privilege and an honor. And I don't take that lightly. So thank you for watching my videos is really what I wanted to say. This has been so emotional. Should I just go out and get a dog tonight? What would happen if Alex showed up? He'd be like, oh, you got a dog. I'm not getting a dog this weekend. This is not preparing you guys for me getting a dog, but I will say this. If somebody sent me a picture tonight or tomorrow and said this is a dog and I thought it was a dog, I would get a dog. But no, I'm not. I have no plans at this moment to get a dog. Okay, I'm going to get off here now. This vlog uploaded. It's getting dark outside. I kind of really wanted to walk. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do tonight. I'll let you guys know tomorrow, so stay tuned. I hope you guys are having a magically amazing Thursday. Peter's Bachelor weekend. Anyway, gonna read a lot of books this weekend. Gonna watch a lot of shows. Oh, by the way, I just want to tell you this. So I watched School Spirit Season 2. And then I watched, what's it called? The Midnight Club. They're both kind of like, I call them like, well, I never watched all of Pretty Little Liars. I'm thinking about going back and watching it. Oh my God, last night I started watching episode 1 of Grey's Anatomy. I got so bored. She gets up out of bed and then she throws a pillow in that guy's butt. And I was like, I'm not feeling this tonight. I want the pit. I want emergency room. I don't want this, okay? I don't want this romancy bullshit. So anyway, but I call them like all those like teen thriller kind of shows. I love those shows. So anyway, like the Fear Street ones. But anyway, so somebody a long time ago, I think I looked it up and then somebody recommended it to me. So all of the Harlan Coben shows are on Netflix. And they're all of his books, and they're all like in like, most of them are in Spanish, or they're in England and things like that. Maybe only a couple of them are in Spanish. I said all of them. I think most of them are like in English, but they take place in the UK. Which is weird because they're all written in New Jersey. So anyway, somebody had told me about one that was specifically about teenagers, and it's called Shelter, and it's on Amazon. I started watching it 3 nights ago. I'm on episode 4. Some people told me they thought it was really bad. I actually think it's really, really good. I think it's really good. It's about this kid in the opening scene. His dad dies. You don't know how, like, where his mom is. He's living with his aunt, and there's like this old spooky house in the neighborhood. It feels like a Harlan Coben show that just has teenagers as the main characters. It doesn't feel cheesy. But anyway, I mean, there's a lot going on in this show. There's a missing girl. There's a missing kid from like 30 years ago. All Harlan Coben shows are kind of like the sins of the father played out all over again. I think it's really good. I've got 5 episodes. Did I finish the 4th episode? I think I have 4 episodes left. It is really, really good. So I recommend that. Oh, and I finished Late Migrations. That's probably why I'm so emotional. Late Migrations by Margaret Wrinkle I finished last night. And it is 100% a book about grief. Actually, the chapter that's called Late Migrations is at the very end, and it's beautiful. It's about monarch butterflies, and she waits, and she waits, and she waits, and she plants this milkweed. The battery just went to the halfway mark. She plants this milkweed for the monarchs. She also talked about it in The Comfort of Crows. But then this one day, and apparently monarch butterflies take generations to travel to Mexico and back, but it takes them generations to do it. So anyway, it just was a really beautiful book, but it is 100% a book about grief. It is, and I would not recommend it to people that are in early stage grief. It just really brought a lot of emotion out in me. Maybe that's why I'm like feeling like this today. I don't know. It was a beautiful book though. I gave it 5 stars. So I'm now 12 books ahead of my reading schedule. And I'm really loving the audiobook, This Book Will Bury You. Oh my God, it's so good. So anyway, I'm going to get off here now. I hope you guys are having a magically amazing Thursday. If nobody else has told you this today, God, it feels like a Sunday or something, or a Saturday. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya! Happy birthday, Lena!